Jeff Black again, your BFP Dream Builder from Beachmont Ford Performance. And here I am once again out here in the garage for another episode of Garage Table Discussion. And today I'm going to talk about something that I kind of hear this a lot, and I assume if you own a GT350R, you probably get this a lot too. And that is, you'll be at a car event or something and someone will say, well, hey, what's the big difference between a 350 and a 350R? And honestly, I could go into all the other differences and the production numbers and so forth, but I'm going to concentrate on what I think, to me, is probably the biggest difference, and that is these. That's right, carbon fiber wheels. Now, these are manufactured in Australia by a company called Carbon Revolution, and they're made exclusively for Ford. And Ford, as a matter of fact, is the first American major series production company to ever put carbon fiber wheels on a car. Now, this is the same company that makes wheels for Ferrari and some of the other exotic companies. So when they designed the 350R, Ford was basically trying to build a factory-built road course race car. And this thing has already been proven to compete out on the road courses with some of the, pretty well-known exotics, and holds its own fairly well, and especially for the big price difference. Now, don't get me wrong, the carbon fiber wheels are not a cheap option. I mean, they actually are a pretty inexpensive option in the package for the car. But if you do have to replace one, yeah, they're a little pricey. I can tell you that, yeah, because it's happened to me. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I do want to kind of start to explain a little bit about what Ford was looking for with doing the carbon fiber wheels. Now, the biggest thing is, this thing, the weight reduction is unbelievable. These weigh around 17 pounds. Compared to a lot of the aluminum wheels that are probably at least double that. And it really, really improves the suspension response times, the chassis dynamics, steering feel, and the ride quality. The response time just improves so much with these lighter wheels. And that's what makes the 350R such a special car. So how about we take a walk over here and take a closer look at the 350R carbon fiber wheels from Carbon Revolution. All right, let's take a walk. Okay, guys, let's look into these GT350R carbon fiber wheels made by Carbon Revolution for Ford a little closer here. So, as I talked about before, these things weigh like 17 pounds, so the weight is unbelievable on it. Now, I'm no He-Man. As a matter of fact, I really don't work out that much anymore, as you may notice. But if I can take this wheel one-handed and pretty much lift it over my head, it gives you an idea how light they are. Try that with some of the other aluminum wheels and so forth that are out there on the market. And unless you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or something, you might have a little trouble doing what I just did. So, the other thing that I hear from some people, or I've seen or reading around, is that people think carbon fiber wheels aren't that strong or durable. It's actually the opposite. As a matter of fact, Ford had Carbon Revolution do a ton of testing before they ever put these things out on the market. And one of those things they tested was the strength and the durability. They actually had them, deliberately hitting potholes hard and hitting curbs hard. Now, I'm not talking about just curb rash. I'm talking about hitting curbs. And the carbon fiber, if you take a little chunk or something out of this wheel right here, a little section, I'm not talking about the whole wheel, but a section, you should be able to drive on this thing without that crack spreading because of the carbon fiber, unlike a lot of other wheels. Now, you're probably, you're still going to want to get the wheel replaced or repaired. There's supposedly a company in California that will repair these wheels. When I damaged one of mine, I had no luck getting them to respond. I couldn't get an email or a phone call or anything. So I went on and went the other direction. But the other thing that they did a big test on was heat. Now, road course race car like the GT350R, those massive Brembo brakes are going to put off a ton of heat. So to compensate for that a little bit, Carbon Revolution came up with this heat shield on the inside of the wheel. This is the same material that NASA uses on some of the parts for the space shuttle. So, I mean, it's got to be good, right? So if you look, it's coated the inside part of the barrel here and the rear of the spokes. It's going to help reduce that heat and keep the wheels a lot cooler. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think this is unbelievable that on an American-made car like this, at the price range that this car's in, that you're getting these kind of features. Now, when they make these wheels, I won't go into, I don't understand the whole carbon fiber thing per se as far as how they make them. But if I understand it right, I mean, I know carbon fiber is a very, very thin, piece. They're thinner than your hair from what I understand. They have to lay all those pieces into the mold, and then resin goes in there, and it hardens, and they basically bake the things. As a matter of fact, each of these wheels ends up with an RFID chip in it. I did not know that until I did a little more research. So quite the process. And then when this thing is cured and they are pulling it out of the mold, they have to drill all these holes for your lug nuts and for the TPMS sensor. Then after that, they got these inserts here that go into the wheel, and that's where your lug nut seats. And all of that, it's quite the process, actually. They have an unbelievable quality control check from what I've read. So you're getting a really quality product. Now, it's an expensive product if you have to replace these wheels, and especially in the market right now with the pandemic and the supply chain shortage and all that kind of stuff. If you need to replace a wheel, be prepared. They're probably going to be on back order for God knows how long. And if you can find one out there on the market, somebody selling one or a set, you may have to go that route. I've seen a few people selling them, and I was a little surprised at how bad they were getting beat up because of the price. And to be honest with you, from what I had seen, the price was pretty reasonable. If you have to replace these, buying one from Ford, these wheels, and keep in mind the front ones are even more expensive because of the heat shield, but they're around $6,500 a piece. So they're not, an inexpensive wheel. And if you want to buy a set, I saw one not too long ago on, I think it was Facebook Marketplace. Someone was selling his set for around 12 grand, and he was getting beat up on the price. And I'm thinking, well, it's actually pretty good. So be prepared if you damaged one and you have to replace one. Now, I know a lot of you 350 owners are taking the wheels off and store them. I get that, I do. But for me, I don't know. I just thought, hey, that's one of the reasons I bought this car, and I paid the price. But, I've had the car 3.5, almost 4 years, and that was the first time I've ever done anything, to it. Hopefully, we'll go a long streak again. All right, guys, so just a little bit of info about the carbon fiber wheels on a GT350R. And I hope this has been informative to you and interesting. I thank you guys, as always, for watching Garage Table Discussion, and I sure look forward to talking to you again soon. Hey, I won't see you till after Christmas and after New Year, so Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.